All right. While that comes up, I want to focus on the last P, the participation, especially amongst the people at the bottom of the socio-economic pyramid. A lot of what we speak about applies easily to people who have resources, but then people at the bottom of the pyramid are often the most deprived. And then whatever we propose cannot be population agnostic, because whatever intervention we propose, the type of cancers vary. Just from India, if you look at where I live, esophageal squamous cell cancer is almost 95% is esophageal squamous cell cancer. If you go to the other end of the country, to Mumbai, almost 40% are, or even more, are adenocarcinomas of the lower end of the esophagus. And so what we propose cannot be population. The lifestyle changes, diet. In my area, very peculiar ways of consumption of tobacco, consumption of meat, all very different from other parts of the country. And then we also have under-resourced health systems and poor access in tribal and poor communities. And so I think it is very important that we design our interventions, whatever translation research, in participation with the communities that we strive to serve. And so we have to engage with, and for each of these, I don't have an answer, but we have to learn to engage with the groups and communities. We have to learn to engage with cancer survivors. And in many poor economies, people who survive cancer either have to get back to work, or many of them never get back to employment. And then former caregivers could be roped in. One of the things we are trying to do is to listen to all the problems. And then a colleague of mine has an AI tool called Apsara, which is going to analyze it and help us categorize the problems that our community faces. And then we have to focus on the individual and the family and the entire community to build trust and to retain trust 24/7. In poor communities, loss of trust is it's a very easy occurrence. And then to rebuild that trust for an intervention can be a humongous challenge. Again, for participatory design, we can look at community-based risk prediction and early detection. We have to culturally tailor the health promotion and literacy. We have to decentralize and provide navigated, personalized care. All of this has to happen. And so, for a community like ours, we engage with the local health volunteers, the health activists, and they do an enormous. Many of them have not even cleared class 5. And so many of them don't know how to use a mobile phone. And so when they don't know how, we put pictorial representations. And so we have to, this may not be necessary in another community in Mumbai or Chennai. And so we have to learn to do this based on the community that we are intervening in. We have to learn to have a tailored health promotion and literacy messaging. And the way in which we deliver the messaging, the impact will be different in different regions of the world. And then when we identify a problem, we have to ensure that anybody who has a problem, who has a pre-cancer, gets the treatment he or she requires. If we don't complete the loop, we've lost the whole narrative. And so how do we make this happen? Many poor patients, they may not participate in a study. If they participate in an early detection program, for example, and if there is a problem, they may not go to a hospital because they are afraid of impoverishment. Giving them information about the support systems is as important as providing an intervention to diagnose cancer early. We have to ensure that they participate in national support systems. They need support for travel, for food, for loss of wages. One of the things that we did as an intervention in the hospital is to provide ad hoc employment for patients who come because they don't have wages. And if they don't have wages, their families will not eat. And in many situations, for example, this was done very well in India because women will not come to institutions for delivery. There were cash transfers for people who delivered in institutions. Institutional delivery was encouraged by providing cash incentives. And then a very big problem in poor communities when we treat cancers is, A, they lose livelihoods And then when they go back, we've actually created a problem for the family because they have one more mouth to feed that is not earning. Very often, even though education is free, books are free, uniforms are free, the kids will drop out of school because when the parents have to go to hospital, somebody has to earn. And when the kid loses education, an entire generation is lost. And so we have to learn to get the kids back into the education system. And all of this are worth investigating when we look at translational research. We need to invest in digital tools to see how we can help the community access them and work with them. And then very important, I think, is to monitor what we are doing, to have equity matrices and to create equity dashboards for real-time follow-up to see the impact of what happens. And just as we talk of last mile delivery, first mile delivery, to start treatment as soon as a diagnosis is made, to help them start that, I think is very, very important. Thank you very much.